There is a hadith narrated by this companion called Tamim al-Dari. Rasul tells us, and this hadith, by the way, is narrated by Imam Muslim on the conditions of Muslim, meaning it's a very strong chain of narration. And cutting the story short, Rasul called the people of Medina one day and said, come quickly to the masjid. So they came and sat in the masjid, and Rasul stood up with his stick. Every time he wanted to address the people, he would stand up, a little bit of a high position on a rock or something, and he would hold a stick with him. And he said to them, do you know why I have gathered you here? They said, Allah and His Messenger. No, it wasn't time of prayer, it wasn't time of anything. He said, let everyone stay in the position that they would normally pray. Yani if you, like as if you're coming for prayer, sit. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, I did not call you because of some kind of good news or bad news that you should fear or anything like in particular right now. However, this man here who I have, Tamim al-Dari, has just told me something that I have always told you about. But there is a little bit of an extra detail to it, and I want him to say this to you. So he asked Tamim al-Dari to say it. And Tamim al-Dari, who had embraced Islam, he used to be a Christian, embraced Islam, an Arab. He got up and he said, we were in a ship, and a huge storm hit us. And we were lost until our ship reached an island. We entered the island. Now, in another hadith, Rasul ﷺ is the one who's narrating this hadith on his behalf. He says, a beast came to us on this island. It had so much hair on it that we could not tell the front from its back. Which was its head, which was its tail. We don't know. And we said, Waylaki ma anti. Woe to you, what are you? Never seen a creature like you before. And she spoke. The beast said, Ana al-Jassasa. I am, you can say al-Jassasa comes from the word spy, or the passer of news. They said, Wama al-Jassasa, what is this al-Jassasa, this spy or this passer of news? And then the beast said, Ayyuha al-Qawm, people, intaliqu ila hadha al-rajul fi ad-dayr. Come to this man who is waiting for you in a dayr. A dayr was known in those days as being like a place where people used to worship. Like where monks or people used to dedicate their life for worship, they used to sit in there and worship, no matter what religion they were. They're called al-rahib, ruhban, monks. They used to sit in there. And he said, there is a man who is waiting for your news in great ambition, in great anxiously. They said, when the beast told us about this man, a man, they said, we ran away from the beast immediately thinking it was a jinn or a shaitan or something, and ran to this man, to this human being. We entered this hut that was set for worship, and suddenly we saw in front of us a person, a man who was the biggest in build that we have yet to have seen. And he was so coarse in his body and in his features, strong and coarse and big. His arms were wrapped to his neck with chains, like this. And his head and arms were also chained together to his knees, to his legs, like this. So he can just look up, and he's chained up really well. He couldn't move. Just legs and arms and to his neck. We said, what are you? And he said, you are able to hurt me because I'm chained up. So it's my right to ask, who are you first, so I can ensure my safety. They said, very well. We are people from the Arabs. We set sail in our ship, and a storm hit us until we became lost and landed on this island. We came to this island and we found this beast that came to us that had so much hair on it. We asked it, who are you? And it said to us, I am the spire or the passer of news. And it led us to you. They said, we got afraid of this man and we didn't feel safe around him. However, the man said to us, tell me about the palm trees of Baysan. Baysan is a city in Jordan. And he wanted to know whether there were palm trees planted in there a lot. We said, what do you exactly want to know about Baysan in Jordan? He said, I ask you, are there more palm trees and have they be filled with dates or not yet? They said, yes, it is full of palm trees and full of dates, more than many other places in what we know. He said, soon its palm trees and dates will become scarce. Will no longer give fruits. Today, really, in Jordan, dates are scarce now. It used to be in history abundance. Now listen. He said, now explain to me about Buhayra Tabaraya. You know what Tabaraya is? Which ocean, which sea that is? Okay, the Tabaraya Sea. It's also close to Asham. They said, what do you want to know about it? He said, does it have water in it? They said, yes, there is lots of water. He said, soon its water is going to go away. It's not going to exist anymore. And truly today, the water has gone drier than before. Then he asked them, he said, tell me about Zaghar fountain. And Zaghar fountain is somewhere near Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis. Probably about 3 days' journey if you wanted to walk away from Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis, that's where that fountain is. So basically in what we call Israel today. They said, what do you want to know about this fountain? He said, well, is there a large fountain happening and a great river from it? And do people plant a lot of vegetation around it and it gives a lot of water yet? They said, yes, it's all got a lot of water and its people plant a lot. They said, okay, tell me about a prophet who is ummi, who is illiterate, cannot read or write. What has he done? They said he has come out in Mecca and now he lives in Yathrib, in Medina. He asked them, have his people fought him? They said, yes. He said, what did he do? They said, he was driven out by his own people. But he went to another Arab, who are the Yathrib people and those who embraced Islam with him, and they obeyed him. This man said to them, really? Has that really happened? They said, yes. He said, أَمَا إِنَّ ذَاكَ خَيْرٌ لَهُمْ أَنْ يُطِيعُوهُ. He said, behold, it is better for those people who obey him to keep on obeying him. He's actually supporting the Prophet ﷺ. وَإِنِّي مُخْبِرُكُمْ عَنِّي. Now I'm going to tell you about myself. إِنِّي أَنَا الْمَسِيحِ. I am Christ. Isa alayhi salam. وَإِنِّي أُوشَكُ أَنْ يُؤْذَنَ لِي فِي الْخُرُوجِ فَأَخْرُجْ. He said, now very soon, based on the signs you've showed me, I'm going to be given permission to leave and I'm going to come out. فَأَسِيرُ فِي الْأَرْضِ. I will walk throughout the land. فَلَا أَدَعْ قَرْيَةً إِلَّا هَبَطْتُهَا فِي 40 لَيْلَةً. He said, there wouldn't be a village or a city or a place on earth except that I would have reached it. All in 40 days. The whole world in 40 days. غَيْرَ مَكَّةَ وَطِيبَةَ. All except two places, Mecca and Tiba, Medina. فَهُمَا مُحَرَّمَتَانِ عَلَيَّ كِلْتَاهُمَا. He said, they are both forbidden for me to enter. Now when we say he enters, it means he conquers, takes over. He owns it. كُلَّمَا أَرَدْتُ أَنْ أَدْخُلَ وَاحِدًا. He goes, every time I wanted to come into one of them, an angel will stand guard holding a sword. And he will prevent me from entering Mecca and Medina. He said, and now between every two mountains that you can find a pathway entering into Mecca and Medina, there are groups of angels standing guarding it right now to the last hour.